From your local National Weather Service office in La Crosse, this is meteorologist Dave Lawrence bringing you an update regarding the potential for additional heavy rainfall across much of the area as we go through the overnight hours tonight. We do anticipate several additional periods of heavy rain similar to what we saw just last night, with some isolated severe storms also possible. From an impact standpoint, additional flooding and mudslides will be possible. In fact, we've already seen quite a bit of that in some areas. And as we go through the evening hours, don't be surprised if a couple of stronger to severe storms produce some large hail, wind damage, and perhaps even an isolated tornado, especially across portions of northeast Iowa. In terms of timing, we expect flooding to continue once it gets going overnight. Rivers and streams will continue to rise as we go through the rest of the work week and into the weekend as well. There is a flash flood watch in effect for much of the region as we go through a Thursday evening, again for the potential for heavy rain. I'll talk about how much more we expect here in just a second. But let's take a look at what happened over the last 24 to 36 hours. We did see a large swath of 1 to 3 inches of rainfall across a good portion of the area, with isolated amounts as high as 2 to 4 inches and even a couple of spots pushing 5 inches, generally along and either side of the Mississippi River. That, of course, did result in some areas of flash flooding through the overnight hours last night and into this morning, along with some mudslides across the steeper terrain areas. Now let's briefly take a look at the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms. This will be a threat only confined to mostly this evening, generally speaking across much of the area, but the greatest threat does appear to be mostly across northern Iowa into perhaps southeastern Minnesota, where we did see some late day clearing, allowing for the atmosphere to become rather unstable. Again, through late evening, there could be a couple of storms with large hail and damaging winds. But the bigger threat is, as we've been discussing for many days, heavy rainfall. Here's a map of additional rain expected as we go through tonight and into the day Thursday. Generally speaking, 1 to 4 inches across much of the area, with the highest swath along and either side of the Interstate 90 corridor, where 2 to 4 inches is expected, perhaps as much as locally 6 inches where thunderstorms train across the same areas. As you can imagine, given how wet our soils are recently, how much rain we've seen, and given the fact that many rivers are already well above normal or even at flood stage in some spots, additional flash flooding and/or river flooding is expected as this rainfall materializes. Now let me just give you a brief look at what we expect the radar to look like as we go through the overnight hours. Here you can notice showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, generally north of the I-94 corridor, are basically expected to expand along and along and south of the Interstate 90 corridor as we go through the overnight hours, slowly pushing south with time and again delivering heavy rain, perhaps some gusty winds like we saw last night and some hail. Once again, though, 2 to 4 inches of rain expected in many areas with these storms. That is not good news. So if you live near waterways or creeks and streams, please be aware of the potential for flash flooding as we go through the overnight hours and make some contingency plans just in case. Well, thank you very much for your time today. Please stay weather aware as we go into the day on Thursday. Showers and thunderstorms should gradually taper off late in the day, but we may see some additional heavy rain as we go into the weekend. We'll discuss that at another time. And once again, have multiple sources to receive weather information and stay with us at the National Weather Service as we keep you informed on this potentially dangerous situation.